Alright. Not so cold. I'm leaving quite a bit later than I have the last few mornings. Time for the dog walk again. Yeah. I'm still sleepy. Did not get enough sleep last night. I was watching the Barcelona Real Madrid game, but after an exciting first half where the score was 2-1, it turned into a snooze fest in the second half, so I just gave up on finishing watching. I'll look and see if I missed anything when I get back, but I hate it when that happens. I'm a Barcelona fan, but it's always, even if they go down 2-1, at halftime it's still, exciting. There were a lot of chances in the first half, and then in the second half there's just nothing. It was boring, and their best player, Lamine Yamal, did absolutely nothing the whole game, so I don't know what he was doing. I don't know if he was sick or just didn't have it today, but it wasn't any fun to watch. But another vlog, continuing to come up with ideas for my Dungeons & Dragons campaign. I was working on the setting and what the starting area was going to be like. I had a very sort of strict and conservative religious upbringing, and so I kind of wanted to parody that or parallel that in the campaign. So I thought the starting area would be, the players are in a kingdom where the church, the religious group of the area they're in has got strict control of the populace. If an individual, so shows magical abilities or, has special martial prowess or whatever, they get marked by the church and have to go through religious trials and prove themselves and then become a member of the, sort of fanatical guard or whatever. And, you as the player will be attempting to break free of that system and maybe even rescue a kid who's been marked for that and go on the run. That might be a fun way to kick the campaign off, so that the players have to sneak out or smuggle someone out. It could be a fun first quest to really kick the campaign off. So I was working on trying to figure out the logistics of that. I had a few ideas. I thought, as far as the mark goes, some sort of magical tattoo or rune or something that appears on the person's skin might be a fun way to kick it off, and then functions a bit like a curse where they have to get it removed, or else the religious leaders can track the person's whereabouts using magic. It'd be a fun way to try and really kick the campaign off in a way that'd be fun for people to play. I need to look into once I start off and really get it going, where exactly to publish or promote the campaign once I get it going. I haven't looked into any of this stuff in a long time, so gotta give myself kind of a refresher on all of it, because it's been a long time since I actually was able to do anything Dungeons & Dragons related, and while it's exciting to get back into it, it's a little daunting just because it's been so long. I don't know what's the popular platforms or what people are using nowadays. I mean, I know Roll20 was a big thing back when I was still playing. We used the Fantasy Grounds program, the groups that I had, that I was a member of, and I like the program just because it's familiar to me, and I'll use it to sort of start everything. But I don't know if that will be the platform I end up using long term, just because, if that's not a platform that people really are interested in anymore, then, I'd want to use one that other players and other people are familiar enough with that, they would be interested in. Dog, no. You don't run out in the road. You could have got run over. Don't do that. She's still insistent on trying to run into the road every time I take her for a walk. And being that it's not early in the morning anymore. What did you do? Come on. Gosh. Getting herself wrapped around a stick. Trapped it in her harness. Silly dog. But anyway, I'd want to use whatever people are most familiar with. Learn the popular platform, whatever it is. I haven't used Roll20 in so long. I have no idea how it's set up, and I know the rule set. I need to figure out if I'm going to go with what I'm more familiar with, which is Pathfinder, or if I want to switch to D&D rule set. I don't even know what the current version is. I think back when I was playing, it was 3.5. Now I think it's 5, or even, they may have a newer one out now. I've got to look at that. Hopefully I get some time to do that today. I didn't really have much time for that yesterday. I took the kids to do a bunch of Halloween stuff, a bunch of trunk or treats and events like that, and kept me busy most of the day. Didn't really get a chance to do any of that stuff, so I'll be looking into that. And tomorrow's vlog hopefully will be an update on what I plan to use and how I'm going to promote it, and I can start putting links and that sort of thing. But anyway, there are a few other ideas I had for quests. I thought, as a way of sort of mirroring my descent into alcoholism, I would implement sort of a homebrew, pardon the pun, homebrew type of potion that would exist in the game that a sort of sinister figure creates, that he promotes as an all-powerful elixir that gives you, the strength to defeat your enemies. And initially when the players try it, it seems like this wonderful potion that does wonders for you, and then they slowly get addicted to it. I thought that would be a fun way to sort of put my history with alcohol into the game, because for me that's how it really was. I mean, drinking made everything easier initially. I made social situations that I was uncomfortable with easier to stomach, made me more fun to be around initially, and then gradually, as it took hold, the positive benefits were outweighed heavily by the negatives. It no longer worked. The longer and longer I was drinking heavily. But yeah. That was my idea for that. Had a fun idea for a way to sort of include the ex who cheated on me back in the day into the game as sort of a minor bad character, or boss fight, sort of, if you will, in air quotes. Make her a fae. Tries to seduce the players in some sort of swamp or something. Thought that would be fun. Just use events from my life that were somewhat traumatic for me as a backdrop for for creating fun and interesting characters, you know. The way that it was difficult for me to deal with, you know, try and put those elements into the story so that it carries a bit more weight, I thought would be fun. Yeah, and then I thought about, you know, as I've worked in IT over the years, the annoying business owners or clients that we had that were ridiculous, and try and add them as characters to the game, you know, as different things to have to overcome. Or, you know, I remember there was a company that we did IT for way back in the day. It was a logistics and shipping company, and the guy used to call and yell at us, cuss us out on the phone if anything went wrong. And figured he could be a baron or hold on a second. Dog's being stupid about getting in the road again. There we go. She's just really insistent on trying to walk in the road, and we've got a ton of cars coming by because it's not early in the morning anymore, like I was saying. And so there's a lot more traffic on the road. So it's even more imperative that she not wander off into the road over and over because there's cars constantly going by, and I do not want this dog to get hit. She's a very sweet dog, and I love her. And she's insistent on putting herself in dangerous situations. You are a stinker. You're going to end up in the game too, you know, Apple. Pig-headed animal companion who doesn't want to follow directions and tries to steal the player's food all the time. That's what you're going to be. That's the latest thing that we're having to work on for. She's constantly trying to sneak into the kitchen and dining room and steal food from the kids. Very annoying. Had to put gates up, and just she's getting better about it, but the sneaky part is what's annoying. When I go to the bathroom for a minute, I come out and I hear the clitter clatter of her nails as she's rushing back to her, you know, her bed from sneaking into the kitchen, because she knows she's gonna get fussed at if I find her in the kitchen. But yeah, as soon as I'm in the bathroom, oh, you can't see me. Runs in there. You little shit, stop it. Anyway, she'll do fine. She's getting better. Not getting her walk at the right time, I'm sure, didn't help, but we all kind of were sleeping in a bit. So, one of those. But okay, that car did not put its blinker on, which really would have been helpful to know they were turning. Hate people who don't do that. Like, it's one thing if you don't put your blinker on when it's obvious what you're doing, but like when it's not, put your blinker on to let people know. Otherwise, nobody knows what you're doing. I do it too, but I usually don't put my blinker on if there's like nobody around me. In this case, I was already crossing the street when the car pulled up, and I just sat there, and I'm going, I would let you go by if I knew you were turning, but I didn't, so I just kept walking. Whatever. Oh. But yeah, make the logistics business owner guy like a baron or something who gives the party quests, but when they don't complete them quickly enough or to his liking, he turns violent and into a villain, and end up having to defeat him to free the town from his evil rule type of character. I thought would be really funny. Man, that guy really did not help with my struggles with alcohol, that's for sure. There were so many like 3 a.m. calls from that jackass cussing me out because his server was down for 5 minutes because it needed to be rebooted. And I'm just like, I get it, you're a logistics company and like you're 24/7, but like servers have to be rebooted, like they do. And you run 24/7, so like at some point you're going to be down. You need to pick a window to reboot your server. Like, they have to get updates. You need to run backups. Like, you can't be running all the time. Eventually, you have to have, a brief downtime. And he just didn't get that. He would run his systems nonstop, never turn them off, and then get upset when they would have issues. And I'm going, well, yeah. they're never getting updates. Like, they're never, clearing out the, cache, memory, all that. So he'd be complaining, why is my browser so slow? And I'd look, and his computer hadn't rebooted in 27 days. And I'm going, well, this is why. He's the type that would have 50 tabs open in his browser and wonder why everything was going so slow. I'm like, yeah, you gotta close some out sometimes. But yeah, I thought having some kind of obnoxious Baron that doesn't understand that you can't defeat a bandit group in 24 hours would be kind of funny. And then came to a conclusion, and that's where I'll wrap up the video, on who the big bad evil guy would be based on. I would take all of the pieces of my personality that I don't care for, or things that I personally struggle with, and turn them into a character. And so at the end of the campaign, the players are defeating sort of the bad old version of me that I want to let go of and move on from. And if you complete the campaign, essentially he would be, a magical evil character that exerted control over the populace in some way, and that the players would need to overcome their own insecurities, their own doubts and fears in order to defeat him. And that's going to be the crux of the conflict in the campaign, is he's pulling the strings, being that he is me. It works pretty good for the campaign. So yeah, hopefully either tonight or later today, when the kids aren't being too crazy, I'll be able to sit down and actually get started and work on it. And I got OBS set up so I can record my screen, and I'm not going to try and stream. I don't have fast enough internet for that, but just my upload speed's not fast enough. So I'll just record and post a recording of me working on it and go from there. But anyways, guys, I'm back from the walk, and I'll update you tomorrow. Later.